Hi, guys. No, there's nobody actually here. Oh, crazy dogs. They're barking because I said hello to you. And now they scared. Oh, it is somebody here. I think it's my mom. Hi,
you just
guys.
lied to your dogs, Christy. You said nobody was there.
How are you? It's like as soon as I hopped on here, it's like chaos started. Brittany, how are you feeling? You're getting so close.
I'm ready.
How many weeks are you?
I didn't hear you.
How many weeks are you?
38.
Oh, it's so exciting.
It's time. He can come any day. Right now, if he wanted. Let's go.
I remember at 38 weeks, I was like, oh, okay, now I can have a baby anytime. I'm full term. And then I had this like, I think it was Rachel. Yeah, but it could be a month from now. And I was like, I cannot believe you would say that to me.
No, they had talked to me about inducing at 39 weeks because the ultrasounds are showing that he could be a large baby or it could be a lot of fluid. So they don't really know. So we made a plan that if he's not here at my 39-week appointment, to make an appointment for like, I guess it would be right after 40 weeks to induce. So he's got like a 2-week time gap and then he's out. So there's an end in sight.
They guessed that same thing with my sister's baby and they were totally wrong.
Right. And the nurse last week, she's the only one that has acknowledged that there could be a weight discrepancy. Mm-hmm. So like 3 like 7 pounds, but they're like, oh, it could be 1 or 2 pounds off either way. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
1 or 2 is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big difference between an 8-pound baby and a 10-pound baby. Am I right, Sarah Scott? Sarah Scott had 2 pound babies.
Between an 8 to 9 pound baby and a 12-pound baby.
Yeah. You had a 12-pound baby?
Yeah. I had one that
I'm
was
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big difference. 33% is their estimate.
Mm. Yeah.
I took all that on so that doesn't have to be the way for you. It'll go the other way.
Yeah, I thought 9 pounds was a lot. I give you credit for 12 pounds.
12 is that's a very cute plump baby.
I don't recommend.
Oh man. All right, guys, we'll give everybody like 1 more minute and then we'll get to chatting. There's there's a lot happening in my house. There's dishes happening. Georgia's running around. Sounds like the dogs are being crazy. There's a lot going on here. I love that Natika and Aaron are in bed already. East Coast people are like late bedtime, or at least wind down time.
I'm
The
just
new-
in my room so
Uh-oh.
that my family doesn't come in and touch me.
I hide in my room too for calls.
I'm definitely in bed for the night.
I'm jealous.
You're awesome. It's a good night when you can go to bed early and get like a really good like 8 to 10 hours. That is the best. And it's so good for you too. Sweet. Well, let's get to it. Happy Sunday, guys. I have something kind of interesting to talk about tonight. And I know normally the Sunday calls are a little bit more mindset oriented or motivational, and it's going to be that. But I also just wanted to like shed some truth, some stuff that I've been observing, and I think will be helpful for us going into the season of intense fitness advertising. We're getting ready to go into that season. And I have noticed in my Facebook feed and even in my Instagram feed, a couple of different kinds of ads. And one of them is that I've noticed a bunch of times is from a CrossFit Games athlete. She's a tremendous athlete. And she is advertising a butt program. So some sort of, physical fitness program to build a butt like her butt. And I looked at this thing and I thought to myself, gosh, like she's advertising this 4-week, get your perfect peach. She's got the emoji with the peach there, she's like, get your perfect peach butt, look great naked in 4 weeks. And it occurred to me that, I followed her for a long time. She was a professional dancer, then a professional athlete at the highest level for her entire life. So her body has been sculpted from, 25 to 30 years of physical fitness. And I thought, man, it's cool to sell a program that helps you build muscle in your butt, but there's no perfect peach happening in 30 days. Like that doesn't exist. That's not possible. And I've seen another ad recently that is similar. It's about abs. And it was from someone who is a great athlete. She's awesome. And she's selling this like get ripped abs situation. And again, similar timeline, 30 days or 6 weeks or something. And again, I've followed her for a long time. Her background is she's a professional gymnast who became a professional CrossFit athlete. So gymnasts, as we all know, are absolutely ripped through the core. So her exercises, probably awesome, probably going to make you stronger. Not to say that they're not good, but you're not getting her abs in 4 to 6 weeks. But that's what the advertising is saying. So I wanted to give us some realistic timelines of what does weight loss look like? And what does physical body composition change look like? What's a realistic timeline? And again, I think that both of them are great athletes, and I'm not saying that their programs are whack. It's probably good strength programs, but the marketing pitch is what I have a problem with because it's selling you something that's not possible. So let me put this in perspective. The year, now I'm not talking about a postpartum year because that's a little different, but the year that I lost 40 pounds when I had it on for quite some time, it took me 1 full year to lose approximately 40 pounds. That is not what you hear in marketing messages. Marketing messages make you feel like you should lose 40 pounds in 3 months or in 6 weeks or in, this short time window. You look at someone's before and after, it makes you think you should lose 40 pounds. That was just me personally. Everybody can be at a different pace, but a realistic timeline for me, completely changing how I eat, my lifestyle habits, exercising consistently when I didn't used to. So the overhaul that, you do when you want to change your lifestyle, that took 1 whole year to lose 40 pounds. Then after that, after losing the weight, my body composition, which was measured, was approximately like 30% body fat. So I had lost the weight, the excess body weight. Sorry, Logan thinks it's a good time to vacuum. I had lost the body weight, which was great, but because I was still pretty new to exercise, I didn't see this like incredible physique change, right? Like I looked different for sure. I felt way better. But then, you know, if any of you guys have seen the picture of me, I have visible abs in a picture that it's been on the internet multiple times. And it's like a before and after, which I don't share very much anymore because I'm not a huge fan of before and afters. But the physique change that's in that picture, it was right before I got pregnant with Georgia. That took 4 years to build that change physically, to build visible muscle abs, to look like a very like much more lean, to have that sort of like CrossFit body composition. 4 years of training consistently and eating well. Nobody tells you that. So are there people who can build it faster? Yes, because if their full-time job is exercise and weight loss, and they take every possible supplement, everything that they eat is out of a container, they are not doing anything fun, they are training in the gym for 3 hours a day, yes, you can transform faster. But for people who want the real long-term wellness, the physical fitness, it takes a long time. Strength takes a long time to build too. I mean, similarly, like if you don't have a pull-up, there are pull-up programs out there that are 6 weeks long. I wrote one. You're not getting a pull-up in 6 weeks if you don't have a pull-up, and that's okay. It takes some time to build that strength, and you absolutely can. So the reason I just wanted to talk about this tonight, and I know it's not our normal Sunday conversation, is because you're about to see advertisements everywhere that are straight up lies. Physiques change with consistent work over years. And absolutely, if you're like, well, what the heck? Like, I want to see some weight loss change. I'm working on it. I've made good progress. You can see the weight loss, but as you've already seen, real weight loss is slower. You've probably noticed that inside Fitme. When you're trying to have change that actually lasts, it tends to be slower because you're making realistic changes to your real life that you can repeat, and then your body adapts accordingly. So the weight comes off a little bit slower, as opposed to if you were going to do something drastic, like some sort of like 900 calorie shake situation, well, then the weight's going to come off significantly faster, but it's never going to stay off. It will come back. It's actually healthier for our bodies to lose slow and steady. So the reason I say that is just, I just thought this would be a great thing to bring up, timelines. And for those of us who are working more on the mind side, I have to say it's going to be similar. You can make some really meaningful changes around body image and around the way that we talk to ourselves and the way that you frame your outlook. But when you have a lifetime of that behind you, it's gonna take some time to make that stable and make that change concrete. And so giving yourself realistic expectation of it's not supposed to be different after 2 months or 3 months. It's supposed to take some time to build that. Everything else that we do in our life that is important and significant, we already know that. But in fitness, we're kind of told this other thing. And in wellness, we're like told, oh my God, it should be fast. What am I doing wrong? When am I going to look like this? I look like my size has changed, but I still can't see, you know, X, Y, and Z. And so we have these unrealistic expectations that tend to get in the way of our consistency. Because when we see other examples on the internet of so-and-so did it real fast, I mean, I really struggled with this postpartum, where I would see all these examples of women who apparently popped out a baby and then 8 weeks later looked like their old body. And then I was like, that's not what I'm experiencing. So like, what's going on here? And again, it was that unrealistic expectation of this transformation that happens in your body to create a baby. And then you're supposed to be back to that 8 weeks later. I mean, maybe some super lucky random person, but most people, that's just not how it works. So that's what I wanted to talk about tonight is timelines, realistic timelines. If you are just starting, like, for example, like on the financial side, say, for example, you are just starting to save money and you've been in debt for a long time, it would take a while. The get rich schemes would not get you to a different place. But if you were to get to a place of like financial security and stability and have savings and be confident about your spending habits, that takes time to build. And anything in that promises you something otherwise, you would know is like a hack or a gimmick. You're not like changing your financial whatevers in 30 days. And it's funny because there are those gimmicks out there in the financial space. And some people do fall for them. And so it's not like it's not a thing there too. But for most of us, we probably aren't falling for those things. But at the same time, even if we're not signing up for those fitness gimmicks anymore because we're in Fitme and we know what we're doing, it can still be sort of troubling. It can still hurt us a little bit when we see that and we hear it and we think, well, maybe I'm just doing something wrong. Or like, why am I doing the slow way when there's a fast way? The fast way is not real. So I want to hear from you guys. Like, talk to me about timelines. Have you struggled with this timeline? Have you felt this for yourself? Do you see some of these ads and, question if you're doing something wrong? And how all in are you on the long game?
That's funny. Postpartum for sure. Sorry, I have my picture. It's super dark in my phone, but like that's totally before that was
Amy, you're a robot for a second.
And I'm a robot.
Now you're
Am
not.
I still a robot?
Nope, you're not. No, I don't know what you did different.
I took a few steps past where I was. I don't know. But yeah, postpartum always, and just in general. And I feel like the biggest difference, I was telling Nikki the other day, because my first treat I had on Thursday with my husband, wine, and because Nikki and I are doing this thing where we're only doing 14 treats until the new year, and we're doing 150 Fitme plates. And I was like, I've been doing this, right? And all of a sudden I was so scared to have that treat because I would like fall off the deep end and eat everything. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, it was super weird because I was in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, like if I do that, then I'm going to have to do this and this extreme thing. And like Kim talked about it on Marco Polo today too. She was talking about how she had these things at the wedding, but now she's right back. And I think that's the beauty of Fitme, that scale. And like I don't know, the ideal is kind of off the table because our focus isn't on that number anymore. It's on, these are the things, these are the habits, this is the step. It's little, it's a tiny step. It's not this huge thing that you have to jump over this huge bridge to get to. Like, it's these little steps that's building you. So then it's so much easier to not fall into those. Like, oh, I got to hurry up and figure this out and all that jazz. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think most of the time we know that. Like, I think all of us are committed and bought into building those long-term habits. It's just sometimes that like that little voice on your shoulder sometimes in your head, and it's like, why does so-and-so's timeline look different? Or like, why isn't this faster?
100%. And I think that, like, for sure, postpartum, like, you see that everywhere. I mean, I have friends who like literally popped a baby out and the next day they were like, looked like a marathon runner again. And I'm like, what? How does that, what? I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you did different than I, but it's not working. But and yeah, so you instinctively are like, I gotta do something extreme. And or you question why you have to, I don't know if anybody else does this, why you have to pay or you have to, why this is your struggle. That's what I always struggled with. Why do I have to pay for a nutritionist? I should have figured this out. Why couldn't I figure this out by myself? Like, does that, yeah, so that's, I always get on myself, like, why can't I? And but now it's so, I don't know, it just feels with the support of Fitme and the support of everybody in here, it's like, oh, okay, we're all doing this together, like, this is, yeah.
I love that you said
And
that, Amy, because it's not just timeline, that little piece of like, well, why do I have to pay for some help with this category? It seems like some people just have it automatically. Why don't I have it automatically? And so, but I think that that's also a myth. People who take care of themselves invest in taking care of themselves. They are accustomed to spending money on exercise or a trainer or access to the foods that they want to eat. And so it becomes this sort of myth, like it looks like it's an accident, but it's actually not. It's just accumulation of their habits. But I'm so glad that you said that, Amy, because that is true. It goes right along with the timeline.
Hey, Christy
that's a good,
and Amy, also, they might make it look like, but are they really happy?
That's true. That's a good point.
Do they really have it together in every other thing? They might look great, but do they feel good on the inside? Is it a constant, are they constantly torturing themselves because, oh, I'm going to eat this, so now I got to punish myself for X, Y, or Z?
Mm-hmm.
that's a good point for sure.
Yes, Kristen, that's true.
Add to what Kristen said, there's someone that I know on Facebook, and she's really into that beach body stuff. And her latest post really had me like, oh my gosh, you shouldn't be doing that. Is she's starting the 20-day fix, and she's trying to get other people to do it with her because she knows she's going to be eating all the stuff for the holidays. So her mindset is do this 21-day fix so that when she eats the stuff, her clothes will still fit.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just kind of like, I'm reading that going, no, that's not good at all. So I think, she's one of those people that, yeah, she looks really healthy and really fit, but I don't think she's happy on the inside, has that good mindset.
Mm-hmm. Certainly, I mean, whether or not she's happy, she's certainly not secure in her, confidence in her habits and how she eats. Because if you go into the holidays with that fear mindset, like, I better make a huge dent right now because I'm going to gain a lot back over the holidays, you're setting yourself up for that, which, it's good that that's kind of like meh, meh, in your face right now. You can see it more clearly than ever.
And then to add on to what Amy said about the postpartum, I'm having that with the post-cancer, where it's just that I'm expecting my body just to be back where it was. And I was like that before I found Fitme. But now as I've been in Fitme and I've worked with Tori and stuff, I'm realizing that my body went through hell. I went through a lot of trauma that I'm not going to bounce back as quickly. And it's been something that I've had to learn to be patient with and just kind of go with the flow and keep working on those habits.
Mm-hmm. Having community and people who you can relate to give you realistic timelines and encouragement while you have to be patient is incredibly important. Because when you're by yourself, then it starts to feel like, well, wait a minute, I must be doing something wrong, or what, I guess I need a different thing. But having like actual information, like coming from coaches who've studied it, that science of it, and then also having community of like, hey, I'm right there with you as you're taking this time, and having like Tori give you that feedback is so valuable.
It really is. It's really helped, because when I was just trying to do it by myself, I was just not in a good place mentally. I was pushing myself too hard, and I realized I was just doing more damage than good. So it does help.
Yeah. I know Sandy, like the other day, she sent me a Marco Polo to check on me about my thumb since I heard it a couple weeks ago. And she said something which was like so striking to me, which was, she's like, hey, I just want you to know, because she gave me some exercises to do. And then she said, hey, I just want you to know you're probably going to hit a plateau right now for the next couple weeks. It might not feel like it's getting better, and that's normal. And I'm like, holy crap. Nobody tells me that actually at all. When you're recovering from a thing, you think it's linear. I should be getting better every single day. And I was so grateful for that, like, honest piece of information. So I didn't question if I was, going in the wrong direction.
I have to add on to that. My son, we just found out that he has some small amount of scoliosis in his upper. He's getting X-rays done tomorrow morning before he goes to school, and then he saw a chiropractor on Friday, which confirmed it. Well, the X-rays will confirm it, but anyway, I was telling him, oh, are these your ice packs? Do you want to put them back, your cold packs? Don't you want to put them back in the fridge so that they're cold for you when you need them next? He's like, well, I haven't had that sharp pain since, the chiropractor worked on me on Friday. I probably won't need them. I'm like, you should keep them cold at all times so that when you need them, they're there. They're already cold.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks that, he knows that it's not going to be a quick fix, but he
figures he's good to go now.
Right, exactly. I'm like, he's got a session tomorrow afternoon, and then the chiropractor wants to see him 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's going to be a little difficult, especially with his rifle marksmanship shooting. So,
mm-hmm. Yep. It'll take some time for sure before he probably feels better all the time.
Yeah.
Sarah, you were getting ready to say something.
Amy talking about being so hard on herself is something that I identify with. That I've been through quite an extended season where every expectation, every timeline, everything I try, every path I head down, I have an expectation in my mind for what that will look like. And usually based on things I've done before, not, wildly unrealistic expectations, but I have an expectation. And the season to down that path, that is blown to hell. And so I've had to pivot or change my expectations or readjust the game plan. And while it's not the path I would recommend for people to learn to adjust their expectations of themselves and having it has, I think, the wake up call needed after a lot of having incredibly high expectations for myself and needing to please everybody else and leaving myself for last, and just learning to do the things because I know they make me feel better, even if they're not immediately netting the results I want to see in my physical composition yet. That those habits are habits for many, many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
The body comp, I have to trust that will come as I get all things squared away I need to get squared away. But for my girl, that this is just a part of the life we live.
Yeah, Sarah, it cut out just a little bit at the end, but I think what you were saying about all of your timelines getting blown to hell and then you having to adjust your expectations and recognize what you're doing is playing the long game. For you, the body comp piece will come. There's just a lot at play there, which and it is challenging. It is challenging to be patient.
Yeah, not my strong suit yet.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, I don't know if you remember, Christy, but when I started at CrossFit PAX, to me, it was so important to have coaches who understood that I knew my own body limitations and because when I was at the other place, you know, they would push you and push you and push you. And I'm like, no, I know what I can do. I know when I need to stop myself. And if I'm going to be somewhere where somebody doesn't listen to me saying what I know I'm capable of, then I didn't want to be there. And I think that that's such a huge thing that people need to learn on a really long road. Because I mean, it took me, I lost all my baby weight within 9 months, but I still didn't have the body composition, even though I was doing CrossFit 3 to 4 times a week. And it took, you know, additional time. But I think telling yourself that if your body is saying stop, that you should stop. Like, you also know your own limits as you go through, and having trainers that listen and help you in the way you need it is really important.
Mm-hmm. Darren, that's really good to point out, because it's talking about taking the entire person into account, not just like that moment of what they should be able to do. So one of the things that, you know, when I was doing my certifications for personal training and for nutrition and for the different things that I've done is, you know, you can have a person in front of you with numbers, right? Like, okay, this person weighs this much. It looks like they're doing X, Y, and Z. And you could think, okay, well, I know what to do to take them from here to here, this person in front of me. But that person in front of you has an entire lifetime of history. And that history plays an incredible, important, you know, factor in that point A to point B. It changes the timeline. It changes like what they're able to do, like you're saying, Aaron, and being pushed. It's the whole person. And our histories matter. And it can impact our speed of change. So again, like if you spent 20 years of your life as a gymnast and you're like at 40, you're like, yeah, I'd like to get back into doing some pull-ups and stuff. And your girlfriend, you guys are the same weight, you look the same, you're both real busy, you got work, you got kids. And she's like, yeah, I want to get back into, I want to do some pull-ups. I've never done some pull-ups before. And you guys both go into the gym. I promise you, unless that one girl is a freak, that gymnast is going to have 10x the pull-ups of the other girl. Like that, because she has a history that has created that change. And not to say that the one girl should give up. She absolutely shouldn't, but her timeline's going to look way different. It doesn't matter that it kind of looks the same where they're starting at, you know? And the truth is, and that's what I wanted this call to be, is sort of like truth talk. Weight loss is similar. It's similar depending on what your body has been through and what your body has, you know, behind the curtain might impact your timeline. So someone who is kind of similar to you may lose weight faster or slower than you, or may see some physical change faster. So you might be like, why does that person have abs? I don't got abs. Or why can I see that person's shoulder muscles and I can't? Or she's lost 40 pounds and I've only lost 20. Two different people with two different things behind the curtain. But you just don't hear that very much. And so that's kind of why I wanted to bring it up on this call, is the more information like that we know, the more opportunities for us to talk about it, to ask questions, to say like, how do I get to point A to point B in my timeline? And that's what your coach is for, is to help you put that timeline into a realistic, you know, picture so that you can say, yeah, you're right. I was kind of being unfair to myself. Like Sarah was saying, I'm unfair to myself in this, you know. That person, and the worst thing you can do is be scrolling through your Instagram back in time a couple years and look at some old version of you and be like, well, why can't I be that person right then and there? You're doing the exact same thing. You're just comparing you to you. But that person is not in the same place as the person that you are now. And so you've got to be careful when you do that. But your coach can really help you. And on the flip side, your coach can help push you, which is that if you're giving yourself too many passes and you're like, hey, I'm on the slow and steady, you know, I'm going to do this because I don't like, I want all this balance in here, but oh, by the way, I really want to lose 30 pounds, you know, by the middle of next year. Your coach can also be the person to be like, hey, your actions are not in line with your goals. You can turn it up if you want and speed up your timeline. And this is what it would look like. And so that's a really great reason to have a coach one-on-one talk to you about your timeline and make sure that, hey, you're not being too hard on yourself, but also if you want to put your foot on the gas, what do you need to do? And what would that look like? So that's our Sunday chat. I hope it was helpful. And if you have questions or if you see ads that you're like, hey, this is exactly what Christy's talking about, send them to me. I like to see them, and I can fact check them for you. We've all had enough like political fact checking. So if you want me to fact check diet industry, I will do that for you. It'll be fun. So sweet, guys.
Hey, Christy, quick
Yes.
question. What week are we on in this program? I think I'm a little off on my mindset stuff.
This is week 8. We are going into week
Okay.
8. If
Yeah,
you are,
I am off.
yeah, if you're in mindset or impact, this is week 8.
Okay.
Good question. Good
Is it
question.
week 8 for nutrition too? Or are we on week 7?
Everybody's on their own. If you're in your first, nutrition program, you might be on a different week than everybody.
Okay.
We really just sync up for the mindset and impact. Sweet, guys. Let me take a quick picture before we get off. All right, faces if you want. Hold on. You gotta clean your lens off. That's a phone hack. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Sweet, guys. Well, have a wonderful week. I will see you guys later, and I'll post this picture up in Facebook and on Marco Polo tonight or tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
All right, guys. See ya.
Bye. Good night.
Bye. Have a good week.